Welcome back. This is a very special program of Attorneys on Call. Once again, the website on your screen, LejeuneRelief.com, is a great first step because what we're talking about is water contamination on the Marine base, Camp Lejeune in Jacksonville, North Carolina, specifically from 1953 to 1987. And it caused all kinds of health problems for people who lived on the base, the Marines, Marine spouses, individual contractors, civilian contractors that lived on the base or are on the base for more than 30 days and may have consumed this water. But then it went away. However, recently, a new law has been passed that will open up the situation so that people can maybe file a claim to seek relief if they've been affected by this. So Sarah Stump and Ben Whitley with us in studio as always. And Sarah, from what I understand, it was birth defects that opened up the floodgates to open this up again?
Yes, Drew. That's what really, I think, shone a light on the fact that there was a big problem with this water. We're seeing there were birth defects, things like spina bifida, heart defects, some brain injuries in these young babies, and then for the adults as well, we're seeing a myriad of cancers. A lot of it's focused on the liver, the bladder, the kidneys.
Which would make sense. You think about all the filtering
Exactly.
of the body of all the chemicals.
Yes, and that's what these chemicals do. Once they get in your body, they get into the bloodstream and kind of go everywhere, and then they're absorbed by your fat cells. So you're carrying them around with you, all the time. And they're so toxic.
Ben, Whitley Law Firm has a great history in Eastern North Carolina. We're talking about Eastern North Carolina right now. Camp Lejeune.
We're talking like my dad said, it's our people. We've been there almost close to 50 years. We think it's very important for folks that have family or themselves that have been affected by these claims to have local people represent them. A local law firm, a name they know, a name they trust, and people that they can talk to. And some folks may want to just talk about this case. They may want to give us a call. And I just want everybody to know that it's confidential. These phone calls to talk about your situation, they're confidential.
Because this is scary stuff.
It's scary and they're free. It's a free, confidential phone call. To talk, because there's going to be, sometimes this has caused a lot of trauma. There were deaths involved with this. We're talking about death claims, things that people have kind of put aside for a long time. We're asking them to reopen these and to be thinking about it. So
we're going to show a graphic on the screen that really talks about the specific dates, 1953 to 1987, who qualifies. So it doesn't have to be just the service member, the Marine, who was living on the base at that time.
Right, that's correct. So, of course, the Marines who were stationed there, they can make a claim. But this, the Camp Lejeune Justice Act of 2022, is really special because it's going to expand and allow the family members to make claims as well, as long as they can prove that they were on base during that time period, 1953 to 1987, for a period of at least 30 consecutive days. So we're really excited about that and hoping to get just compensation for all of these people who are affected.
Another thing to say, Drew, is that people may be hearing this and wondering if they can afford a lawyer to help. And all of these cases are going to be handled on contingency fee contracts, which means that a client does not have to pay us any money up front for a retainer, and we're only paid an attorney fee at the end of the case if there is a successful outcome. And because the law is based on a federal claim against the United States government, the attorney per law. So this is going to be something I think is a benefit to the veterans out there to not have to pay what's typically seen in kind of class action mass tort fees. We think that's going to put more money in the pocket of the folks that are the most affected.
Sarah, let's say there's a person watching right now who is a Marine spouse, and her husband or his wife or whatever was a Marine stationed at Camp Lejeune during that time frame that we talked about. Let's say that other member of the family has passed away since then, but their passing could have been related to this, correct?
Yes, absolutely. It could have been. There are so many injuries, cancers, and diseases that are caused by these toxins. So what I would encourage that person to do is just give us a call and pull the death certificate and just provide that, and we can go ahead and start seeing if we can build a case to work on it.
You know, all the different types of diseases that we're seeing from this. I mean, you talked about the cancers, but kidneys and liver, and it seems like it's just a never-ending list.
Yes, also neurological disorders, so Parkinson's, ALS, and things like that, which, sometimes that can happen just as you age, but I would encourage anyone listening, if your family member suffers from one of those diseases and meets the other criteria, to please give us a call.
You know, Ben, it's a shame. We like to think that our military is going to be housed in a safe place, and yet for all these years, these Marines and their folks were drinking contaminated water. It's
right, and when you learn the story, and there's been a lot of people that have been involved in this, from down in the ground in Jacksonville, that have been fighting for these Marines for a long time, to the folks that helped get this legislation passed up in Congress. But it's important, and I'm glad that they're finally doing something, because they've been waiting too long. And so I encourage anyone out there, if they think that their loved one was there at that time, or if there was any connection whatsoever to that base from that period of time, you give us a call so we can find out whether you have a case or not. And it's going to be a free evaluation and confidential evaluation.
Sarah, you mentioned just briefly about documentation, about a death certificate. What if a person has an inkling that this may have affected them, but they can't produce that documentation? Still call you?
Yes, absolutely. Give us a call and let us handle the worrying about it and the sorting it out and the details. Mm-hmm. And we're happy to do that. So yeah, if you think that there's even a chance, just go ahead and give us a call, and we'll get the call where it needs to go.
Exactly.
Is there anything in particular that we've got about a minute or so left in the program that you want to add that people should really know? As we have always said, the 800 number, that's a free call. The website, LejeuneRelief.com, that's free to go to the website to get a lot of great information there. But sometimes a person wants to talk to another person at the other end of the phone, an attorney, right?
Mm-hmm. Right, and we will make ourselves available. We can do that in person. We can do that over Zoom. And again, it would be confidential. I encourage everyone, whether it's us or another local firm, to hire a local firm for these cases. They're going to be seeing ads from firms all over the country.
People in California.
Right.
You want a local firm because that's the best consumer protection that you can get, because local firms are regulated by the state bar. Mm-hmm. So I encourage, if it's not us, make it local.
And of course, a consultation, a first consultation is always free.
Yes, always.
Let's wrap it up in about 20 seconds, Sarah.
Yeah, I would just say, again, the criteria, the people affected. If you were in Camp Lejeune from 1953 to 1987 for a period of 30 days consecutively, and if you were subsequently diagnosed with any of the cancers that we have listed, or any neurological disorders that you're concerned about, give us a call.
Sorry to cut you off, but we got to go. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.